John, how are you?
Fantastic.
It's,
Thank you, Ahmad.
it's so nice to give me a chance to meet you right here at
Yeah.
this our resort SI weekend. How do you feel about it?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, we had at the beginning of the pandemic, we were doing everything virtual, and it's fantastic to be live with you here. We don't need a mask, we're outdoors. We have vaccines in place, and that's really, really fantastic. We're getting out to stay at some beautiful hotels and spend some quality time together.
Well, that's good. Now, I just want to take you what we went through in hospital market back in March 2020. Suddenly, the whole thing came down, and we felt with the 10% occupancy, 15% occupancy, everybody think what's going to happen. Suddenly, all the convention stopped, resort stops, the Disney World stops, and we said, what's going to happen? Whether it's luxury, retail, or limited service or select service, everybody suffered. Now, after 15 months, everybody's expectation is high, almost 70% occupancy rates. Can you give us some rhythm of what you felt at that time and how you feel about
Yeah, you know, as we went into the pandemic, we knew the hospitality sector would be severely impacted. There was no doubt in anybody's mind. And we were preparing for that as best we could at the time. And we did our best to fill the units as we could. But it's been a long journey. And a lot of investors have faced a very significant uphill battle. But today we're starting to see the recovery. We're seeing occupancy rates recover. We're seeing them even pushing up into the 70% range in some markets because of the seasonality and because the weather is fantastic and because people saved a lot of money while they were staying at home and working from home. So now that they're finally getting to go out and spend some of that money, some of their time doing things that they want to do, that's helping the hotel market and that's driving up our occupancy levels.
it? Yeah, so that's a confidence in the market right now. But there's certain markets, John, like urban markets, they're suffering still. International travel hasn't started. And those areas where the meetings and conventions used to come so heavily, still not here. What is your outlook between next 6 months and going back to 2022?
Yeah, we knew going into the pandemic that the conference hotels would take a hard hit, just like vacation destinations. And so, you know, we made our way through the pandemic as best we could, and we're starting to see a little bit of a revival. I was at a conference in San Diego just a few weeks ago. It was very well attended. We are starting to see other events like AHOA come together in Dallas, and we're going to see a lot more of our business associates at that event. I think in the fourth quarter, we're going to start to see this revival, and that will carry into 2022. Now, the challenge is if we get a new variant of the virus, that could be a major setback, so we have to keep our eyes on that. But with the high vaccination levels, we're going to continue to see momentum emerge in the hospitality sector, including the conference sector and the major hotels.
Excellent. Now, there's one concern from the hotel owners and hospitalities. The labor cost has gone up. Operating costs, operational cost is also up. But at the same time, they can't find the labor because of this Biden's giving this reward, whatever how you call it. But John, tell us, are you concerned about that?
You know, this is a short-term headwind.
Sure. Okay.
The challenges with the labor market are really tied to everybody working from home for a period of time. Kids were not allowed to go back to school. People are trying to balance their work, their life. They may have relocated, and so it's going to take time for the labor market to recover. The labor force participation rate is about 1.5% below normal,
Okay.
and so it's going to take time. Now we'll see some movement in September after the expanded unemployment benefits
Okay.
end,
Excellent.
but it's still going to take time. It's going to be a recovery over the fourth quarter and into 2022 that we'll start to see that movement. It's going to take time.
Is it? Thank you. Now, one other area that the lending, which is what we need. So, the equity is a lot of available. A lot of people have money to spend. That is coming back. SBA is very aggressively giving loan. We sell a lot of limited service hotels, and get the SBA loan. But the idea is that the concern is right now people saying, why would I sell? My capital gain will go high, 1031 exchange issue. Biden has new policy.
Sure.
What do you give advice to the hotel owners?
Look, hotel owners, you can't play the game of what if the capital gains tax is going to change. You're dealing with a lot of uncertainty. Nobody knows how that's going to turn out. Not even Joe Biden.
Okay.
So we're going to have to take time with that. But investors need to measure what their core objectives are. So if they're holding on to a hotel and they're saying, "Hey, I love this hotel and I want to keep this hotel," they should probably keep that hotel. They don't need to sell it. But if they are not putting their equity to work, if they're not maximizing their yield on their investment, if they're not happy with the markets they're in, if they see other opportunities that they find more favorable over the long term, they may want to reposition their portfolio. And now is a good time to do that. Again, there's a possibility that some of these tax laws could be retroactive. The Biden administration has hinted at that.
Right.
But that is improbable, that is unlikely. I have talked to a variety of people on Capitol Hill, and they reassure me that that is not the most likely outcome. That has a lot of challenges that go with it. So we don't know what the policy will be yet. We do know that there's a lot of options on the table, and we're going to have to wait and see. But investors shouldn't be making their decisions based on what might happen. They should be making their decisions based on what their objectives are and how they can achieve those.
Excellent. Let me conclude in one area which is everybody's in mind. The distress hotels is not here. We thought it's going to be there early first quarter. It didn't happen. There's a lot of equity sitting on the side. CNBC loan has a different approach right now. What do you advise the hotel owners who are sitting with the money and say they want to buy or sell it, or they want to take opportunity of the hotels? How do you advise?
Yeah. There was, especially at the outset of the pandemic, a lot of investment capital went toward the opportunistic investments. They were looking for opportunities on distressed assets. We see the CMBS numbers showing a higher level of distress, but that is not foreclosure. That means that owner didn't pay his payment for 30 or 60 days late, and so it's quote-unquote distressed in CMBS. We also know CMBS was the most challenging lenders out there for hotel operators. So that's going to be the worst-case scenario. But ultimately, most of that property did not come back out into the market in foreclosure or in severe distress. Most of those owners felt good about where they were. They understood it was a short-term issue, and they've been waiting for this recovery that's just right around the corner. It's starting now. And so those investors are not going to sell those properties at a discount. Those properties are going to come to the market at a regular rate.
John, I think really pleasure saying thank you so much on this SI weekend. You gave us your precious time to meet you and figure out. As we are concluding Kabani Hotel Group Marcus Milicher, I just want to let you know our 5th annual conference is still going to take place in Miami on October 28th. More details are coming in. But we are very positive about the upcoming confidence in the hospitality market. So I want you to know that just bear it and balance it out, and as more research coming up, it will benefit. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to say John and I from Broadmoor Hotels and Coral Springs, goodbye and good evening. Thank you.